Today I want to talk all about self-harm thoughts and how to deal with those and deal with those urges. So I'm going to offer you some tips. I'm going to offer some kind of coping skills that you can use to manage thoughts. And I also want to talk about some of the underlying root causes of this, because we need to be looking at and addressing the cause and dealing with and knowing how to better cope with the urges, right? So we're gonna get into both of those things. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below or reach out to me on my website. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you can subscribe and click the little bell for notifications when new videos come out. So before we get into some of my tips and coping skills to use to manage urges, I want you to spend some time thinking about why you self-harm, what it does for you, and kind of where it started and why, and get some understanding around this. And for some people this is easy and it's clear, and for others it's not, and it takes some exploring. But it's worth really diving into and understanding, because we need to understand why this is happening and all the kind of pieces of the picture, right? So if you have a therapist now, it's worth exploring with them or finding somebody to work with. It's a crucial piece of this, right? To dive in and understand it more. And it could be coming from a lot of things. You know, sometimes it's, us trying to manage pain or past trauma or current trauma. Sometimes it's kind of a mental illness that's manifesting and we're trying to cope and we don't know how, so we end up self-harming. Sometimes it is linked to kind of suicidal thoughts. Sometimes there's some chemical imbalances at play or different things going on. So we need to understand that, because if we don't understand it, then we can't really address the root as well. We can cope with it and help you deal with it on the surface, but it's gonna keep happening to some degree if you don't process the deeper stuff. So we want to really understand that. So take some time to understand that and get support in that, and explore it and keep looking at different angles and finding different pieces of that. So that is one piece of this. And then the other kind of pieces of coping, I've sort of broken down into three parts. So we need something or many things to do in the immediate moment. So the urge is really strong and you want to self-harm. Maybe it's cutting and you want to cut right then, and it's really, really present. So in that moment, you need to do something right away. And that needs to be something that is effective for you specifically. And that looks different to everybody. But some things, can be using ice. I've talked about this in other videos, but people still think it's crazy, but you can put ice on your wrists or ice on your neck or chew ice, because that kind of grounds your nervous system and brings you back into the moment. And it's a bit shocking, so it can help. Some people also like to draw on themselves and make bigger designs or kind of paint on themselves, and they find that helps in the moment. For some people that doesn't help as much in the moment, but maybe it will for you. But we want to switch something up. So go walk around, go call someone, go get up and do something. Don't just sit there in your thoughts. So you want to take action, and you want it to be kind of as strong as you can. If it's coming up at work or at school or something, you're not going to be able to do as much. Maybe you can listen to music, maybe you can text somebody, maybe you can just, go for a little walk or something, but you have to do something to switch it up and kind of shake things up a little bit to deal with that urge in the immediate moment. So that's kind of one piece. The other two pieces are coping skills more and distractions. And both are important, but distractions are fine, but they can't be the only thing we use. We have to cope as well. So distractions would be things like watching TV, watching movies, and it could be, music, it could be talking to a friend or going and do something and just kind of trying to distract your mind. And that is great if that's what's getting you through, right? That's I don't want to ever say that's not good, because it is good. And we have to also process the deeper stuff, right? So the coping piece is more where therapy comes in, or understanding and going through the deeper stuff comes in. That would be yoga, especially trauma informed yoga. That would be under kind of more of the coping skills. It could be art, right? It could be expressing yourself that way. So we have to kind of piece all of this together. You have to deal with it in the moment and figure out how to not do that in the moment, right? I've got to figure out how to not cut or not self-harm in the moment. I need to distract myself for as long as it takes. And when I'm able to, I need to process through what's going on and look at it deeper and get some support around that. And then I think dealing with the scars and dealing with that is also another piece. I know multiple people who have gotten tattoos or are planning on getting tattoos to cover some of their scars, and that is something that really works for some people. You know, it makes it so you don't want to disturb that tattoo, and it also can be a reminder of, you know, strength or something that you like if you get it, something specific to you to build you up. So that's one way to work with scars. People I know have done henna before, or again, kind of drawing on yourself. And it also just kind of takes some working through, you know, what the scar means to you and what, when you look at it, what comes up. Because I think once you have dealt with some of this stuff and you're further along and you're not actively triggered a lot, sometimes seeing the scars can still bring up some emotions. So we want to process around that and do something about it to cover it if you want to, or just work to kind of change your narrative with it and, you know, remind yourself that, okay, that's kind of a reminder of my pain, but it's healed now and I'm in a different place and I'm, you know, I'm working towards these goals and I'm not there anymore, right? So those are all kind of some tips that I wanted to offer you guys. There's so many ways that we can cope and distract and all of that. If you have some that you like in particular, please share and comment and we can kind of gather some more. I have different lists and things on social media and all of that if you want them as well. But if you have any questions, again, comment or reach out to me on my website, truetoyoucounseling.com. And there will also be more videos coming on these topics, including how to help someone and support someone better who is self-harming.